Joining us.
There you go.
Yeah, we're happy to welcome everyone to our first session regarding the iPhone.
2:58 Tuesday,
And
December 5th.
our trainer today is Kenny Washington. As usual, everyone, we are going to stay away from the chat box. But please, at some point towards the end of our conversation, if you can drop your name in so that we can be sure to make sure that you're counted if you're sharing your screen with someone else. Everybody else who's just on their screen doesn't need to put their name in. And then kind of as we get to the end and Kenny's ready to take questions, if you can call on people that raise their hands to give them time for questions and answers, that would be great. And everybody, I'm asking you to please mute if and I think we're ready to go. Kenny, whenever you're ready, we'll get started.
Okay. First of all, let me say good afternoon and welcome to every. Someone's mic is open. I'm not sure. Okay, I think it's done now. Okay, thank you. Welcome everyone to today's virtual talk, text, and train session. My name is Kenneth Washington, and today I'll be discussing Apple's 2022 flagship smartphone, the iPhone 14. Well, actually, giving it the label smartphone is not doing it justice because it's actually a camcorder, digital camera, GPS tracker, portable media player, game console, handheld computer, and of course, mobile device. Although the iPhone wears many hats, it still delivers on all levels and to everyone. As a blind consumer myself, I can proudly say that the independence and quality of life I enjoy today can be directly attributed to the iPhone, more importantly, the camera, the software that drives it today, which is iOS 17, and the hundreds of specialty apps created by forward-thinking programmers that are freely available in the App Store. Now, at this time, I'm going to describe the layout of the iPhone. I'm holding it in my left hand. There's not really much to it. At the top edge, there's nothing. On the right edge, as you come downward towards the top, you'll find the side button, which also is your power button, sleep button, wake button, voice assistant button, but for now, we'll just call it the side button. And as you continue going down, you'll notice the absence of something really important. There used to be a SIM tray there, but Apple has decided, starting with this model, to no longer offer the SIM tray. In order for you to have mobile service, you need to use an eSIM, electronic SIM. Is very easy to use and actually add to the iPhone. As you go down some more, there's nothing up more on the right side. Underneath, towards the left middle, you'll find the Lightning port, which is very important because this will probably be the very last phone model for the iPhone, which will have a Lightning port for recharging the phone, because the newer models now use the USB-C charging port. On the left-hand side, as we're starting from the top, going downwards, you'll run across the little switch that turns your ringer on and off. You flick it upwards, it turns it on. Flick it downward, it turns it off. Right below that, you'll notice your volume keys, volume up, volume down, and continuing downward, there's nothing else. On the rear of the phone is the cameras located in the upper left-hand corner. You'll find two camera bumps there. The iPhone 14 has two cameras, ultra-wide cameras. I know the Pro and the Pro Max models have three, but the 14 does have two cameras. So at this point in time, we're going to power the iPhone on the way you power the iPhone 14 on. The side button, you press and hold it down until you hear a little jingle indicating that the phone has been turned on, and it should be entering your home screen.
3:04 p.m. Weather, Cupertino.
Okay,
61 degrees Fahrenheit.
now
Partly
you're
cloudy.
now
High
in
of 6.
the home screen of the iPhone. It just read the widget for the weather widget, giving some weather information. But for us, what you're greeted with, or what you should be greeted with, is VoiceOver. VoiceOver is the native screen reader, which is available on all iOS devices, the iPhone, MacBook, iWatch, everything. And what it basically does, it audibly reads out things that are being displayed on the screen. So someone like myself who is blind, or someone who has low vision, it makes it imperative for us to have this screen reader, because without it, we wouldn't be able to use our phones. And I don't want you to think that the VoiceOver is just for people with a visual impairment. Actually, if you suffer maybe dyslexia, ADHD, some kind of impairment that hinders you from reading or understanding things you have read, VoiceOver is there for you. You can use it temporarily, or like myself, I have it up all the time because, again, without it, I wouldn't be able to use my phone. So to enable VoiceOver, which is very important, preferably you want to have your phone, when you first get it, turn it on, and it starts with setting up the phone. That's the best time to enable VoiceOver. What you do, the side button, you press it down 3 times, and it turns VoiceOver. And why that is key to do that then, because that also automatically enables the accessibility shortcut. Now, if you receive your phone and VoiceOver is not active, that pressing the side button to turn it on will not work. Okay, you will have to have someone to help you. You have to go into settings, accessibility, VoiceOver, and once again, VoiceOver again, and toggle it on. Also, you can ask Siri to turn VoiceOver on, but again, unless you have a Wi-Fi connection, it won't work properly. So you need to be connected wirelessly to the internet or through a mobile service in order to say, hey, Siri, turn VoiceOver on, turn VoiceOver off. So now I'm going to get into the basics of navigating with VoiceOver. There are 4 really basic gestures that only requires a single finger for you to get started using VoiceOver. One is simply you just take a finger, generally I use my index finger, and you just touch the screen.
Mail, no unread emails. Podcasts. News.
So what that is doing, it is moving the system focus for iOS to different icons. And because VoiceOver is on, the VoiceOver cursor is tethered to the system focus. So wherever system focus lands, VoiceOver will automatically read it out aloud. The second gesture is simply touching the screen,
Mail,
and sliding your finger around.
Notes, reminders, clock, app store, wallet, health, maps.
And as you can see,
Double
as
tap to
you're
open.
sliding your finger around, once again, is moving the system focus to different items on your home screen. And of course, VoiceOver is tagging along, so it's also reading as it lands on the item, it's automatically reading it. As it goes to the next one, it's reading that one, and so forth. The next gesture is just basically swiping from left to right, like you're flicking something off the screen.
Help. Wallet. Settings. Search. Page. Settings. Wallet. Help.
So
Maps.
you
App
flick
Store.
to your right, you
Double
move
tap to open.
towards to your right. You
Podcast.
flick left, you
TV.
move towards
News.
your left.
Clock.
And
3
again,
9 p.m.
that makes it easier
Double
to
tap
maybe
to open.
locate a app or something you're interested in activating. To most people, that's probably the most common way, even though you can find things
News.
by sliding your finger around and just touching.
News.
Probably
Double
the
tap
best
to
way to
open.
find an app that you really want to use is swiping. So far we got the touch,
Mail. No unread
we
emails.
got the
Mail.
slide,
No. Remote podcast.
and we got the swipe.
App Store. Maps. Help. Wallet. Settings.
And the
Wallet.
last and
Help.
final
Maps.
thing that is very important
tap to open.
is double tap.
App Store.
And what that does,
Maps.
whatever you
Help.
land on,
Wallet. Settings. Search.
let me
Set.
see if I
Wallet.
can.
Help. Maps. App Store. Podcast. TV. News.
Okay,
News.
news. Right now,
Double
focus
tap
is on
to open.
news, and I want to open news. So you simply double tap. Again, for these gestures, I am simply using my index finger. If you're more comfortable using, say, your middle finger, your ring finger, there's no exact science. It's whatever more comfortable to you. So I'm simply going to double tap lightly on the screen.
Alert. Allow news to use or approximate location.
Okay.
Get top local news and weather, and locally relevant search results and ads. My location. Map. Allow once. Button. Allow while using app. Button. News.
That-
Apple News. December
Okay,
5th.
so now news is open. It just gave me one thing. Another great thing about Apple puts you totally in control of your privacy. So if you want an app to use your location, you can simply say yes. You can say just once, or every time you open the app, you say, okay, it's already used my location, or no, you don't want it to use it at all. So you're in total control of your privacy. So right now we're in the news app. So again, I can touch the screen,
Today feed. San Francisco Chronicle.
touch the screen again.
Kamala Harris. San Francisco Chronicle. San Francisco Chronicle.
Let me slide around.
San Francisco ProPublica. In Uvalde. Student San Francisco Reuters. Accounts of sexual violence in Hamas attack increase.
Okay. So as you can see, the news ain't so great, but again, these are different articles. If I want to just swipe down the list.
Video. The Charlotte San Francisco Chronicle. Kamala Harris just broke the VP record for the most tie-breaking votes in the Senate. ProPublica. In Uvalde. Students followed active shooter protocol.
Okay.
The police
And
someone tell me what to
again,
do.
if you want to
26
activate
minutes
and
ago.
read more about
Actions
a certain
available.
article being played, you just simply double tap
That button.
and it loads up. So I'm gonna touch the screen.
Someone tell me. Across the country.
And I am
Every
actually
car or train
swiping down to read the
take care of
article. I'm gonna
students and
stop
teachers from
there
mass shootings
because
and
I'm
public
gonna
expected to
come
protect
back
them.
to this. So what I'm gonna do is another one finger gesture, which is also important, which involves returning to the home screen. So what you do, you simply put your finger at the bottom edge of the screen and you slide up. Now, I'm sure you noticed there was a little, what's known as an air con. It made a sound. The first sound just lets you know that you're about to activate or return to activate one of the gestures. You're in gesture mode, where if you go up another click, it will go to the home screen. And if you go up a third time, it brings up your recently apps. Now,
the 3 fingers to close
the thing that's really cool about
Cupertino.
VoiceOver is if you're not sure, so say if you're going up, you say, okay.
Lift for home.
You keep your finger held there, VoiceOver will tell you, well, if you lift your finger now, you will go to your home screen.
App switcher.
So a key thing about VoiceOver is just listening, because the hints it gives you, as we can see here by I'm going to just touch different things on the
News,
screen.
active. Swipe up with 3 fingers to close the app. Actions available.
Okay, I'm in the recent apps. So if I wanted to close the news, it's telling me I could just swipe up with 3 fingers to close it. I don't want to close it because I actually want to come back to it. But what I want to do is go back to the home screen. So again, placing my finger on the bottom edge. I actually have the out-of-box case that also comes with your phone on. So it's easier for me to find the edge. And as I'm going up, boom.
Weather, Cupertino.
So again,
61
you go up
degrees
from the
Fahrenheit.
bottom.
Partly cloudy. Highest
You're
60
waiting for the first ear con, okay, it plays, and the second ear con, which is actually, it makes a noise, and you also will feel like a gentle haptic response. That's how you know, okay, you lift your finger here, this is going to return to the home screen. When you continue upward and you feel the second haptic response, which is then the third ear con being played, you know, okay, if you lift your finger here, then it will bring up the recently apps list. And if you want to do so, you can go ahead and lift your finger. Also, there's gestures if you start your finger at the top of the screen and come down.
Photos. Stop notes. Double lift for control center.
That's telling you lift your finger for control. So again, the first
Lift for
sound
center.
is to let you know, okay, you're about to activate a gesture, a finger gesture. So you go down another level.
Lift for notification.
And I went down a third level. So it's kind of interesting because you can just hold your finger there and just wait and wait and wait and wait. And you can go back up and down.
Lift for control center.
Okay.
Lift for notification center.
And that will actually, so I don't want to do those, but I just wanted to show. So I went up to the first one, which basically won't do anything. So I'm still on the home screen.
No, reminders.
So again, to review what we just learned here, the most basic of the voiceover gestures require one finger. Again, understand you touch the screen, you slide your finger around, which is explore by touch. You swipe from left to right, right to left to go to the previous item, go to the next item, and then whichever item you want to open, you simply double tap. Another single finger gesture, as you slide your finger from the bottom of the phone, you'll hear an icon play letting you know, okay, you're entering gesture mode. So you slide up again, you'll hear the second icon noise and feel the first haptic response that will take you to the home screen. You go another level to hear the third ear con being played, which is, and the second haptic response you'll feel, okay, that'll put you in the recently open apps. Same thing from the top, you come from the top, first ear con, second ear con, first haptic response is the control center. Second haptic response, you keep going down, and the third ear con being played is the notification center. So having those gestures in mind, you're able to now explore maybe different aspects of the home screen. The home screen is divided into 3 parts. You have your top part,
3, 17,
which is the status bar. If you put your finger and go all the way to the top left, you should land on a time, and we're going to use our swipe gesture to go right.
Enterprise. 3 of 3.
That's telling me that I'm connected to my Wi-Fi network.
98% battery.
And that's telling me how much battery I have remaining on the phone.
Cellular, no signal.
And I currently do not have an eSIM program into the iPhone that I have. So again, it's saying no signal. But in general, the status bar is a place you want to go to if you like. If you're not sure, you're in do not disturb mode. If you activate do not disturb, you will go to the status bar. And if you swipe around, it will let you know do not disturb mode is on. Focus mode, it will let you know focus mode is on, in which focus setting is active. So it's very important. The settings, everything that's up in the status bar is basically static. It's just textual, informational. So it lets you know what options are currently active on your phone. So we go down to the bottom of your home screen.
Doc maps, doc Phone.
This is the dock.
Double tap to
The
open.
dock holds phone,
Safari. Double
Safari,
tap messages.
messages,
Music.
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 Now,
Double tap
the
to
dock
open.
is a great area. So if there's apps you find that are your most important, these are the default apps that Apple has deemed important. So that's what's down in the dock now. They never change. They always are there. So no matter what page you are on your home screen, if you go down to the dock, you'll find the same 4 apps sitting there. So you can also swap them out if you want to put something else down. If you use WhatsApp a lot and you want to take messages out, you can change them out and swap them out. I'll probably get into that on the second day. But yeah, the dock is apps that are always present no matter on what home screen you're on. So again, I'm gonna place focus back in the middle,
Mail.
which is
Note
the main
minutes.
area, the largest area, which takes
Double
up the
tap to
majority of
open.
the home screen. And oh, one more thing I forgot. Above the dock,
Camera.
Right.
Photo. Help. Search. Page 1 of 4.
you have
Adjustable.
like a little bar. Again,
Activate to open
the
spotlight.
home
Swipe up or
screen
down with one finger
is,
to adjust.
at least my home screen, it has
Search. Page 1 of 4.
it has 4 pages. So that means there's 4 pages of apps that I can take and navigate to. And it's also, if I double tap on this area, it'll bring out what's known as Spotlight Search. Spotlight Search is a really powerful facility that a lot of people do not use. What it does, it basically searches all areas of your iPhone, messages, the websites, photos, and if you put in a textual term, whatever comes up in those areas having that term, it will display it. So, I mean, it searches apps that's on your phone, websites, like I said, photos. It's really a cool facility that is easy to use. And I think it would eliminate a lot of people having to tab and remember how to get to certain features and stuff on the phone. You just go to Spotlight Search and say, well, I want to do a software update. Just type it in, boom, it'll be up there, click on it, and I'll take you right to the page containing the software update.
TV.
Okay, so
Double tap
I
to
then
open.
discussed all the single finger gestures. Now I'm going to get into the 2-finger gestures, which I look at them more as reading gestures. One of the gestures that's great
Podcast.
is 2-finger and just touch the screen. So if VoiceOver is reading or chatting, or it pauses it. So
App
if you're
Store.
reading a long page and you want VoiceOver to say, stop, I want to write down some notes, 2-finger touch the screen, it pauses VoiceOver. And when you're finished, once you want to resume, touch the screen again, and it will resume reading. Another 2-finger gesture, which is probably what makes VoiceOver my favorite in the iPhone, is the 2-finger double tap, which is known as the magic tap. What's cool about the magic tap, it has different functions based on whatever app you're in. So say, for instance, you're on YouTube and you're playing a video, 2-finger double tap stops the video from playing, 2-finger double tap again starts it back up, resumes it. If you're listening to some music, maybe on the music app, and you're playing a song, okay, you want to stop it, 2-finger double tap will stop it, 2-finger single tap will resume it. A phone call, you receive a phone call on your phone, you need to answer it, 2-finger double tap answers the phone, 2-finger single tap hangs it up. Editing, when you're on the edit field and you want to enter some text, 2-finger double tapping on that field will enable dictation, where you can speak and have things written down for you, and 2-finger double tap turns off dictation. So depending, is really in the hands of the app developer. It gives them a lot of leeway for 2-finger, the magic tap, whatever they want to assign to it. They have the ability to do so, and is a great benefit to us because it seems like when you always need it, oh, I want to stop video, your instinct is two-finger double tap. That's your first instinct. Now, I do want to make note with the music, sometimes the music track remains in the control panel. There's a little media player there. So if you happen to have a song there and you moved on, you may have forgotten about it, and you may do a two-finger double tap on your screen for whatever reason, it may start the song playing. So you have to remember, you can go into that media player and stop that song, or just remember, you hear, oh, why is there music playing? Well, if you go to the control panel, which you slide your finger down from the top, and the second earcon play, first haptic response, navigate down towards the bottom, you'll notice the media player, and oh, there's the song playing. So that's why that happens. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to go to recent apps.
Home, weather, Cupertino, 62 degrees app switcher. News.
I'm gonna bring up news.
Active. News, back button.
Okay, so
Title, someone tell me what to do.
so again, I'm in.
Use the rotor to access
I just hit two-finger to stop it from reading.
links.
And as you can see, when I two-fingered it, it resumed it. So another two-finger gesture is a two-finger flick, which
under the gun, someone tell me what to do. Across the country,
what that does
require more training to prepare students and teachers for mass shootings and for those expected to protect them. The difference
I'm a pause Talkback from talking.
Where children
and the two-finger flick up, what that does is starts excuse me, voiceover. Two different things in my head there. But yes, what that does when you do the two-finger flip up, just two fingers, flip up, flick up. I usually use my index finger, my middle finger. It voiceover moves to the top left corner of the screen and begins reading. So if you want to read the entire web page from the top down, two-finger flick up, that's the gesture that you want to perform.
And officers
okay, I just resumed it, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to backtrack to stop it.
The country, states require more.
Now it's stopped on that sentence, so it's kind of like in the middle article. So if you want voiceover to begin reading from that point downward, then you do a two-finger flick down.
Across the country, states require more training to prepare students and teachers for mass shootings and for those expected to protect them. The differences were clear in Uvalde, where children and officers...
Two-finger pause. Okay, that's some interesting notes. I want to take it down. Dotty. Okay, I'm ready to go. That's two-finger resume.
Waited on opposite sides of the door. By Lomi Creel and Lexi Churchill, ProPublica and the Texas Tribune, and Jinitzael Hernandez.
Okay, so now we learned that two-finger flick up reads the entire screen, starting from the top left. Two-finger flick down reads the screen, starting at the point that has focus downward. Now, the next gesture is the two-finger scrub. What that does, it takes you back to the previous screen. So basically, you can use I use my index finger and again my middle finger. Just place them on the screen, and you just make, I guess, like a Z. You just kind of like draw a Z on the screen, like Zorro.
Today feed.
And that takes you back.
The hill.
Now.
Water.
If some people understand they do have problems and say, well, I can't quite get that Z, you can also draw an S, and that would do the same thing. Or if you like, just put two fingers on the screen, go down, up, down. You don't have to do really long, just boom, boom, boom. And that's also will perform a two-finger scrub. So if you have problems doing the Z gesture and say, I just can't get this, the easiest way to do it is put two fingers on the screen, go down, up, down, and that also will do the two-finger gesture, which again takes you back to the previous page, and also closes dialog boxes, different menus, and so forth. I believe as far as the two-finger gesture, one more two-finger gesture, that's something else that can be a challenge for some is the two-finger twist, which brings up the rotor. You're supposed to use your index finger and your thumb.
Describe images, all characters, words.
And what that does, the rotor is something that's always there on the screen. It's like a dial with different options that you can cycle to by twisting your finger.
Settings.
Now, for some, that might be like, okay, are you trying to, it's like you're turning a bottle cap, so you're twisting your finger to the left to go to all the options on the left side of the dial and right to go back. So if you can't quite do it, what another way you could do is put your two fingers, your index finger and your middle finger, just place them close together on the screen in the middle and twist.
Volume, 8 words. Volume hints on settings to settings.
That way, that seems to be a lot easier for different people as far as performing a rotor gesture. And as you see, I landed on heading. So what this allows me to do, instead of having to swipe down and try to figure out, okay, what article do I want to read?
Heading not found. Heading not found. Breaking. The hill. More actions.
Okay, let's put it back.
Characters. Actions. Describe images. Settings. Hit settings.
Okay.
Listen now. Setting. Link. Reader favorites. Setting. Link.
And what that does, a lot of good web designers, they'll take and mark the beginning of important part of the page with a heading. It could be heading 1, heading 2, goes all the way up to heading 7. So there's a quick way to just jump down to some information by flicking your finger upwards.
Setting. Apple News. December Today feed. Top stories. Setting. Link. App reader favorites. Setting. Food. Setting. Link.
Okay, I landed on food. So once I flick down, I reach that heading on the news feed. Then you want to start flicking from left to right.
Follow off button. More actions button. Love food? Tap plus to follow. Apple News Plus. The Walls of Food and Wine. Woman who threw a burrito bowl at Chipotle staffer was just sentenced to working at a fast food restaurant.
Okay, I didn't know it was going to have articles about people throwing food at people. Thought it would have recipes, but again, this is a quick way to navigate the elements of a web page. This is really important when maybe on a site like Amazon and you want to say, well, I don't want to sit here and swipe from the top to bottom to find what I want. Let me quickly jump down to maybe customer reviews. Just two-finger twist, which is the rotor.
Describe images, actions, activate characters, word, volume, 8 hints, on, settings.
Stop at headings, take your finger, flick downward, and go down the page, and you'll navigate by heading. Once you've reached the heading that says consumer review, then you can start flicking from left to right, and that will put you right in the group of reviews, and then you can navigate, click on one, to whatever you choose to do. It's easier to do and navigate web pages using the rotor and things like I said, headings. You can navigate by links. As you can see, you can navigate by words. You may land on a word that is like, okay, what did it say?
Value, pin, settings. Describe it. Characters, words.
Okay.
Actions, characters.
Characters, so.
Cap F, capo, capo, cap D.
Now I knew that was food, but I'm just demonstrating again characters. Since I was on characters, I flick downwards and I flick upwards.
Cap D, capo, capo, cap F.
So again, this the rotor is the probably one of the more essential tools of VoiceOver because it puts a lot of the options and features that make it easier for you to do things like navigate web pages.
Actions, activate.
Actions is different actions you could perform.
Or actions.
Most of the time is either close or activate an app.
Settings.
Headings.
Volume, 80%.
Volume, if you want to increase the volume of Talkback, VoiceOver volume.
85%, 90%, 85%.
Again, flicking up and down, that's how you control it.
Word, characters.
And that's it. Now, and I'm going to return to the home screen.
Mail, no.
And another thing about the rotor, there is an option to change it, but based on whatever app you happen to be in, the options in the rotor may change. So if you happen to be in maybe Notes app, you'll find more options dealing with editing, copying, pasting, and things of that nature. On a web page, you'll find more options dealing with navigating a web page by links, headings, and so forth. But you are able to customize and place different things in the rotor to suit whatever needs you do have. So again, we went through the two finger gestures that are most important for you to know. Two finger flick up reads the page start from the top left down. Two finger flick down reads the page starting from the item that currently has focus, going downward. Two finger touch the screen, pauses voiceover. Two finger touch the screen again, resumes voiceover speaking. Two finger double tap, which is the magic tap, can do everything from start and pause a video, music playing, answer, hang up a phone call, and so forth. And the two finger twist, which is brings up the rotor from voiceover, where you can get the different options that you may want to lower, raise volume, navigate a web page by the heading, and so forth. And then we have the two finger scrub, which basically takes you back to the previous screen. It also closes an open dialog, and it also closes a context menu. What I'd love to do here is maybe take a brief pause. I'm not sure if someone may have a question. They want me to go over something again that may not be clear, but it's really important that these gestures, because once you learn the gestures of voiceover, navigating apps and different parts of your home screen, it becomes a piece of cake. So it's vital that you understand how the gestures work, and if possible, how to use them and get better at using them. So I'm not sure if anyone have a question. Someone is monitoring, you can unmute yourself and feel free to fire away.
If anybody have a question, you can just raise your hand and I will just ask you to unmute.
Select a custom action, then double tap.
Okay. There's no questions.
No, Melanie has a question. She
Okay.
can speak.
Okay.
Thank you. I can't seem to switch to the different pages.
Okay, that's my next step. I'm going to go. That's actually the three finger gesture. So that's what I'm going to go through next. I just wanted to give people a chance to ask questions about the one finger and a two finger gesture. So yes, I will go through slowly. No problem. Okay, now
there's a question in the chat.
Sure. Okay.
It says, do you have a cue sheet or checklist for this? Oh.
What what I could do is share I guess a little note sheet to go over some of the gestures that I did explain. Towards the end, I will show you a facility that you can use to practice the different gestures, which may make you needing such a sheet irrelevant. So again, I will bring that up towards the end, but if need be, I will share with Jane a sheet with different gestures that you can use.
Okay, we have another person with a question. Betsy, you can speak.
Hi, Kenny.
Hi.
So I'll preface this by saying I'm an Android user.
Okay.
And I'm sighted. So
Okay.
before I started, I went in and I turned on Siri. And then I turned on VoiceOver. And I don't know how to get Siri to work.
Really?
Like, how do you activate Siri?
Well, let me ask. Well, Siri. Okay. Well, the way you activate Siri, you should be able to hold down. Again, you should have your be connected to the cloud, so Wi-Fi connection or mobile card. You simply hold down the side button and you speak. So you don't have to say, "Hey Siri." Then you can just say what time it is, and Siri should come up and give you the time. For the Hey Siri, and they do have a new choice where you can just say Siri. There's an option you do have to enable for Hey Siri to work. But as
Okay.
far as using Siri, it should work with the side button by just holding it down. That's, again, if you have a Wi-Fi connection or mobile access.
Yeah, it's connected to the Wi-Fi. So, so if I'm holding my phone, looking at it, it's the button on the right.
Yes, that's your side button on the right side. That's the only button on the right side. Press and hold it down. It's not going to chime. It's basically going to chime after it's done listening, but just hold it down, wait a second, speak what you want, and she should give an answer.
Okay, and that is the only way I can turn voiceover off, is to give a verbal command.
No. Well, actually, if you don't have the accessibility shortcut, if you go to settings,
I can't. How do I get to settings though? Just say.
Okay, settings is on your home screen.
Search page 1 of 4 wallet.
So
Settings.
my
See?
home
Item.
screen looks
Double tap
like
to open.
it has the date
Yes.
and the time and the TAM logo. And then it says type to Siri, and then it's a keyboard, which I'm not really sure how I got.
Okay, so what you should do is, let's return to the home screen by sliding your finger up from the bottom of the screen. Remember, you hear the icon, the first icon. You go and hit the second icon and lift your finger to return to the home screen. So you have to go to the home screen.
Okay, that worked. Okay, thank you.
Okay, and then go to settings, accessibility. At the bottom, you'll see something called accessibility shortcut, and there's a whole slew of different accessibility options. You just want to select voiceover, and that way, when you triple click the side button 1, 2, 3, that will also toggle voiceover on and off.
Okay, so if I want to open up the settings icon, I thought I double clicked. Is that not what I do?
Yes, that's what you do. You double tap.
It's not opening it though.
Double tap to open.
Double tap to open.
Settings. One new item.
Yeah, you're in settings now.
I know, but it's not opening it.
Scroll, swipe down, swipe from left to right.
Swipe left to right.
Edit. Started editing. Settings. Is edit. Settings. Is settings. Is that
Okay.
Now I'm just squiggling. All my icons are squiggling.
Settings.
Okay. What I'll do towards the end, I'm going to help you more with this, but you go to the home screen, you should be able to go down and say, now, if you have Siri, you can also say open settings, and that should also bring you into the settings page.
Okay, I'll try that. All right, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is move over to some 3-finger gestures.
Mail. No.
Someone asked about, okay, how do I scroll a page? And what you do is 3 fingers. Now, the trick with 3 fingers, you got to look at your home screen more like a book. So I have a book, and
search page 1 of 4.
According to the area above my dock, I have only 4 pages to my book. So
Mail.
I'm gonna put focus and take 3 fingers. Like you turn a book, you go from right to left.
Page 2 of 4.
Now I'm on the second page.
Double tap.
Okay, again, this is interesting. These are the apps.
Free for tips.
I'm using my swipe gesture,
Catalog.
navigating the apps.
Catalog. Tips.
Well, none of these are too interesting to me. So let me go to page 3. Again, like you turn the page in a book, 3 fingers, slightly bent, little space between them.
Page 3 of 4.
Page 3. Okay.
Double tap.
Again, you touch the screen,
search,
use your swipe, navigate around.
Messages, music.
None of these apps seem like what I want.
Google, Envision, Anywhere, Digit Audible, recently, Claro PDF.
And remember, like I said, even though you're on page 3, if you go to the bottom to the dock,
phone,
the same 4 apps are still there.
Safari, messages, music.
So I'm gonna go back up, and I think there's one more page to my book.
Page 4 of 4.
The 4th page, again, going from right to left, finger slightly bent, about a ½ inch of space between them, slightly curved, and just relax. Swipe them from right to left, and that'll take you to your pages. Now, if you want to go back, fingers go from left to right.
Page 3 of 4. Tap, see. Page 2 of 4. Weather. Home. Page 1 of 4.
Now I'm on page 1. So
62 degrees Fahrenheit.
The key to the 3-finger swipe again is is they made it where I guess as easy as possible, where you just swipe. You don't, again, there's no exact science. What I do, I use my index finger, my middle finger, and my ring finger. But some people might want to use their middle finger, their ring finger, and their pinky finger. But you want to kind of like have a little space between your fingers as you're doing these multi-finger gestures, because you have them close together. Then to talk back, that then looks like a two-finger gesture, no longer a three-finger gesture. So again, you have to have a little space between your fingers. And again, turning a page.
Page 2 of 4, weather.
Right to
Page
left.
3 of 4, tap, tap, see. Page 4 of 4, M braille.
Okay.
Page 3
And
of
going
4,
back.
tap, tap. Page 2 of 4, weather.
Now, again, the three-finger gesture, it works the same with scrolling. So if you want to see what's above a certain area, three fingers, you put it at the top and drag them downward.
Spotlight, spotlight, text field is editing, search,
know what I'm
insertion point at app switcher, news,
Okay.
active,
What I'm going to do is bring up news.
top search result, news, today
Okay,
feed,
so
Apple News
right
Plus,
now,
food,
I'm at the top of news. So I'm sure there's other pages. So I'm going to take three fingers.
page 18 of 39.
So there's
Today feed,
39 pages. So
page
what I
18 of
did, put three
39,
fingers on the
top of
screen. I started sort of like, I guess near the bottom, not too far in the bottom, because you might activate an actual gesture, but sort of like in the middle. You could be in the middle and just
Page 19 of 40.
page
Apple
19
News
of
Plus,
40.
New page 20 of 40.
And that's how you scroll through the pages. So you scroll up, you go down, and you see everything that's on. You scroll back up, you go from top down.
Page 19 of 40. Apple page 18 of 40. Page 17 of 40. Page 16 of 40.
So a lot of things, apps, pages, is either arranged vertically or horizontally with as far as multiple pages. So your three fingers is what scrolls you from left to right, right to left, top to bottom, bottom to top.
Page 15 of 40. Page 14 of 40. Page 13 of 40.
So I'm going to return to the home screen.
Weather.
Okay,
Double
so
tap to open. Speech off.
what I did was the three-finger double tap. Now what that does, it turns speech off, which for somebody who uses a refreshable braille display, they probably want to use this. Meaning voiceover is still active. As you can see, you can hear the different ear cons in the background indicating it's moving from item to app, moving from item to item on the home screen. It's just the fact that it's been silenced, like it's been quieted, so it's not speaking. Three-finger double tap again.
Speech on.
Then you enable it and it starts speaking again.
FEMA.
So again, that's something important. You want to know if you're in an app that's too chatty and you're talking to someone on a phone call, maybe your ear keeps touching the screen talking. You say, and voiceover just keeps talking. Three fingers,
Speech
double
off.
tap, turns it off, so it's no longer speaking. Once you're done, hang up the phone. The two-finger magic tap hangs up the phone. Three-finger double tap again.
Speech on.
And that'll turn it back on. The next thing, the three-finger quadruple tap. This is starting to get like acrobatics with your fingers.
Speech on copy to clipboard.
Okay, now we go back.
Screen curtain off.
Okay, three fingers triple tap. This is your screen curtain. What this does is provide you privacy. Maybe you're in an area where there's some nosy eyes. You do have your earphones in your ear, but you might be afraid somebody might be looking at your screen, noticing what you're doing. I don't know, for whatever reason, you can just
Speech off. Speech on. Screen curtain on.
bring up your screen curtain, and what that does, that darkens the screen where the information can't be seen, stolen. No one can eavesdrop on what you're doing. And again, that's three-finger triple tap that does that.
Seeing AI.
Now, I did the three-finger quadruple tap, and what that does,
FEMA.
that
Double tap to
copies
open.
the last text that was spoken by voiceover.
FEMA copy to clipboard.
You see, as I see FEMA copy to clipboard. So that's that's very important in case you're maybe on a long password and you want to copy it to clipboard and then paste it maybe in a field requiring a password. You can't quite remember, but it's listed there. You can have VoiceOver read it, maybe turn the rotor.
Handwriting. Lower actions. Activate. Describe it. Heading. Pins. On. Volume. Words.
Go to words. Go left or right, navigate by words.
Seeing AI. Big magnify.
When it lands on that
Double tap
password,
to
it
open.
should read the entire thing. You say, okay, that's what I want. 3-finger quadruple tap.
Big magnify. Copy to clipboard.
Copy to clipboard, and then when you go to the notes, when you go to the app, you want to enter it in, of course, you double tap to be in edit mode. And then what you do with rotor, it will have an
Describe
option. It's
image
probably not going to
settings.
show it here, which will say edit. And once you get to edit, you just swipe your finger downward to paste, and then double tap, and then it will paste that information into the password field, and then you can log in and go forward whatever you want to do. So as far as the 3-finger, I think I
Search.
covered.
Page 2 of
So
4.
again,
Adjustable.
with the 3 fingers, we covered 3 fingers scrolling like a book. You're on a page of apps with many apps, scrolling from right to left, go from page 1 to page 2, swipe 3 fingers, going from right to left, going from page 2 to page 3, and so forth. If you want to go back to page 2, 3 fingers, slightly curved, a little space in between them, put your fingers on the screen, swipe right, and that'll go back to page 2, swipe right again, that'll go back to page 1. When you're in like a web page that has, I was in news and it had like 89 pages, and you want to go to the next page, again, 3 fingers, go upwards, 3 fingers, scroll up, we'll scroll down to the next page, which is if you're on 5, it'll go to 6, 3 fingers, swipe upwards, go from 6 to 7, and so forth. Again, if you want to go back down to see page 5, 3 fingers, put them in the screen, middle of the screen, swipe downward, then you go back to page 5, swipe downward again, and then you go back to page 4. Then we had the special gestures. One gesture I didn't go over is
Search. Page 2 of Doc Safari.
the
Double tap
3-finger
to open.
single tap.
Doc Safari. In Doc. Position 2. Bottom of screen.
What that
Double
is,
tap to open.
that is an informational kind of thing that tells you more information about the item that is selected. So say, for instance,
Books.
you're on the icon,
Double
and
tap to open.
again, you when you're on the icon, you don't have to swipe in that area to navigate. You can swipe at the bottom of the screen.
Fitness,
You can
life.
swipe in the middle of the
Content,
screen,
5.
wherever, and it will just
Double
VoiceOver
tap
just
to
go
open.
across to the next one. But you may want to know, where's the focus? Where exactly is it?
Group. Files. Row 3. Column 3. Page 2 of 4. Center of screen.
See, it
Double
tells you,
tap to open.
it gives you information
Group. Files. Row 3.
where you're at, and which might be important if you're in the app and you can't find where the buttons are, and then you use and touch and explore by touch, and you finally land on a button, and you use 3-finger tap. Say, okay, the buttons are at the top of this app, so I know when I want to access the other buttons, then I need to focus my attention by exploring the top of the app. The button may be at the bottom of the app. Again, 3 fingers, find out where it is.
Free tips. Catalog. Group. Catalog. Row 4. Column 4. Page 2 of 4. Center.
And you'll have an idea. So the 3-finger single tap gives you more information about the item you're on. And then we did the 3-finger double tap, which turns speech on and off for VoiceOver.
Speech off. Speech on.
Which is important. People who use refreshable braille displays, if you want to turn VoiceOver off and use your braille display, you can silence it there. And then we did the 3-finger triple tap, which brings up the screen curtain.
Screen curtain off. Screen curtain on.
And again, you put your screen curtain on if you're in a public area and you happen to have your headphones on. Maybe you're doing some banking, something that has some important information that you don't want other people to see over your shoulder. You bring up the screen curtain and it darkens the screen. So only you will be able to hear what's going on through your earphones that you have on. And the final 3-finger gesture is the 3-finger quadruple tap, which basically copies the very last thing that voiceover spoken. It will copy it for you. It could be a password, it could be a paragraph, or what have you, and you want to copy it, maybe paste it into a message, send it to somebody. Here's my password, or make an email when you want to send it to yourself. 3-finger quadruple tap copies it, and then once you reach that field, you use the rotor, rotate around till you reach the edit option, and you flick your finger downward until you get to paste, then double tap it, and it will paste that information that it copied to the clipboard. It will then paste it, and then again, you can go ahead and continue on whatever you want to do. So I think that's it with the 3-finger gestures. I do want to go back to one finger gesture that I did forget that is important. And I guess I kind of didn't forget it because it's kind of advanced.
Brief tips.
And that's
Double tap to
the
open.
single finger triple tap.
Edit home screen button.
Now, what that does, it brings up the context menu. It's actually like when you do the single finger double tap and hold, that performs that gesture, which to me, this way is I read a 3-finger triple tap, and then tap, tap, hold to bring this up. And what this allows you to do,
Remove app button.
again, you can remove the app from your home screen.
Dismiss context menu.
Dismiss
button.
it, but let me go down to an app in the dock.
Safari. Messages.
Messages. So I'm gonna do
Double
a
tap to
3-finger
open.
triple tap.
Remove app button. Edit home screen button. New message button.
So right here, instead of you having them go into messages and compose, you click on new messages here, boom, and it'll take you right to where you can then compose a new message.
Dismiss context menu
Let me
button.
go to music.
Dock music.
Let's go to music.
Double tap to
3-finger triple tap.
remove app button. Edit home screen button. Play most recent button.
Play most recent.
Search button.
Search music.
Dismiss context menu.
Dismiss. So the 3-finger triple
Music.
tap again is like
Double tap to
the
open.
double tap and hold gesture, which basically what it does is bring up a context menu on what item you on, so you can perform different things or access the shortcuts. So instead of you having to open the app and search how to maybe compose a new mail or something, you can just double tap, swipe down, use the swipe left, the swipe right gesture to swipe down the list. You'll find new mail message, double tap on it, and it'll open the mail app and put you right in the field to start composing new mail. So again, that's also a very cool gesture that you can use to kind of like become more efficient and using the different features of an app. So now we're finished with the 3-finger gestures. Now, yes, there is 4-finger gestures.
Freeform.
4-finger gestures
Double freeform.
is more about,
Double tap
say
to
for
open.
instance, you want to go to the top of a screen. Now, I have sort of fat fingers. So again, getting 4 fingers to cooperate and bend and tap the top of the screen,
Weather.
that puts you at the
Double
very
tap
top.
to weather.
When you top the top of the screen. So
Double
not the
tap to
very
open.
top, but sort of like the top. If you divide the screen into thirds, it's the top third of the screen. 4 fingers, slightly curved. Try to keep them even, spaced apart. Tap the screen.
Group. Weather. Row weather.
And that'll put you at the top, the very top left, whatever it may be there as far as what item. If you want to go to the bottom, 4 fingers.
Dock music.
And that's the very last thing
tap
on the
to
screen,
open.
which is music. So again, that's important. I find myself a lot of
Utility
times,
five
I guess I kind of cheat with this because again, I got fat
Double
fingers.
tap to open.
What I would do is use the 2-finger swipe up to read from the top of the screen.
Weather.
And then I would quickly hit 2-finger pause to stop voiceover from reading. So it's like, okay, I'm at the top of the screen, and then I could just
Find my
swipe
phone,
down
book,
from there.
iTunes,
So
fitness.
that's
Double
a little
tap to open.
something you can do to cheat at doing. If you find it hard to use your 4 fingers to tap the top of the screen, just do a 2-finger flick up, which is the command to read from the top left downward. And before start reading, quickly 2-finger tap the screen to pause speech, and then you can navigate as normal by swiping right and going down the screen as normal. Another 4-finger gesture, which is, I think, pretty important.
Weather. Stops. Starting help to stop help.
Is
Perform a 4-finger double tap or 2-finger scrub, or press escape on the keyboard.
Okay, this brings up the facility voiceover, which is like a practice area where you can just practice different gestures. Like if I touch the screen.
Touch, speak item.
Okay, if I swipe from left to right.
1-finger swipe right, move to next item. 1-finger swipe right, move to next item.
Right to left.
Touch, speak item. 1-finger swipe left, move to previous item. 1-finger swipe left, move to previous item.
So again, double tap.
1-finger double tap, activate. 1-finger triple tap, perform long press.
And I believe there's a 1-finger quadruple tap.
1-finger quadruple tap, secondary activate.
Okay, yeah, so I never used that option, but this is a way that you can kind of like, you can practice gestures, but you can also, if you don't remember what the gesture does, 4-finger double tap brings up the help system for voiceover. And like, just like the twist, you want to say, well, I can't quite get that right. Just try different things. Like I said, put 2 fingers on the screen, twist.
2-finger rotate clockwise, next rotor. 2-finger rotate 2-finger rotate counterclockwise,
So,
previous rotor.
And if you want to try to say, okay, well, I want to try to do the way it's supposed to be properly done by putting your index finger and your thumb on the screen.
2-finger rotate clockwise, next
Just
rotor.
practice whatever suits you. Like if it works, it works. No one is looking on you and going to deduct a demerit from you if you use some other way to access a feature of voiceover. Again, is your phone what's most comfortable to you? Some people, they may have arthritis, so they can't quite use their thumb. They may not quite be able to use their index finger. So, okay, you find a way to do the rotor action by using your pinky and your middle finger. Okay, bring up the practice area and practice. See what you can achieve by just trying things. That's what makes voiceover so such a great accessible feature, is that it is flexible enough to say, okay, well, you don't do the scrub the way we intended by doing the Z, drawing a Z like Zorro. Switch.
2-finger scrub.
So try something. Let's make an S. That doesn't quite work for me. Let's try making a C. That doesn't quite work for me. Let's try 2 fingers holding them together and going up and down and up.
Weather, FEMA.
Oh, I took him.
Double
Let me
tap
go
to
back.
open. Starting help to stop help.
I forgot the
Perform a
scrub.
4-finger
The action
double
when you
tap
do
or
the scrub,
2-finger
it closes the
or
help feature,
press
so I can't
escape on the
quite
keyboard.
demonstrate the scrub. But the only gesture that you can't practice in the help system is gestures that involve you sliding. So if you were to, you heard the double bonk, it's not telling you that that's actually the home screen, even though you're doing it. That's the third bonk. It should be saying recent apps. It's not telling you. So the only time it seems to not, I mean, I guess you can practice and realize and just like, okay, let me go from the top. So you can hear the sound and realize, okay, I got it down. Keep doing it. And you know that, okay, single finger slot up, first ear con, second ear con with the haptic tone takes me home. Third ear con with the second haptic tone brings up recent apps. So you can just remind yourself of that in your head. But again, everything else, 3-finger swipe from right to left.
3-finger swipe left, scroll right.
Swipe from left to right.
3-finger single tap, read item summary. 3-finger swipe right, scroll left.
Swipe from top to bottom.
3-finger swipe down, scroll up.
Swipe up.
3-finger swipe up, scroll down.
So as you can see, this is an error. All the gestures out in window, which is quite a few. It's probably when it comes to voiceover, the most important gestures that you can learn. And again, if you're able, you don't have to become a master with the gestures, but if you're able to grasp and have a good idea what each gesture does and how to accomplish something, then again, when it comes to navigating apps, navigating web pages, WhatsApp, sending emails, clicking on buttons, doing different things, it becomes a lot simpler. It becomes a lot easier. So let me close this.
Move to first item. Four-finger double tap. Start help. Stopping help.
Okay, I stopped help.
Seeing AI. Big magnify.
So okay,
Double
I
tap tool.
covered all the four finger. I don't think there's no four finger quadruple tap. At least let me try. Yeah, there's no, yeah, so at least thank goodness for small favors. So with the four fingers, so basically the main thing is four fingers, tap near the top of the screen, that'll move you to the first item on the screen. Four finger tap towards the bottom of the screen, that'll move you to the very last item on the screen. Four finger double tap, that'll bring up the help system I was just in, the help system for VoiceOver, where you can practice different gestures, get the hang of it, things that requires a lot of finger acrobatics to some people. It's hard to do. Come up with a system where VoiceOver will say, hey, you never know, VoiceOver, you might do something crazy, make a J sign with your fingers and find out VoiceOver will recognize that as the two-finger scrub. So just experiment and don't be afraid to try new things. Again, where you're in the help system, you're not going to hurt anything. You're just tapping, swiping, and that's the key. Those four basic gestures: tap, slide, swipe, and tap. And that is the meat and potatoes of all the voiceover gestures, where you'll be performing one or maybe two or three of those gestures to perform an action with VoiceOver. Again, at this time, wait, let me see.
4:05 p.m.
Oh, I'll be done. At this time, sorry, I went past my hour limit here. I'd like to open it up to questions. Any questions you may have that you want me to explain again or give a little bit more detail on, I'll be more than happy to do. It's very important. I stress again that these gestures and the different commands and functions that these gestures are able to perform, you have a good understanding of it. So again, I open the floor up to questions.
If anybody has a question, you may raise your hand. Bessie, do you have a question, or is that from like the previous question?
Sorry, previous question.
Okay.
Well, Bessie, was you able to figure? I think you were trying to get to settings.
No, not at all. No, I actually
okay.
did get to settings, but then I couldn't get to the part where it says accessibility. But I don't know if I'm having trouble double tapping. Like I'm trying to power off the phone now, and I'm up where it says slide to power off, double tap, and I'm double tapping and nothing's happening.
Well, remember when you have when VoiceOver is active, because you're able to visually see the screen, how can I say it? It kind of like changed some of the functionality of the phone. So like up, down.
Power off button.
So what you generally do to power off the
double
phone, you hit the up arrow on, I'm sorry, the volume up, volume down, and then press and hold the side button. And it should bring up the menu like you heard, power off,
cancel
and
button.
cancel. So the way you want to power off the
Weather.
phone, that's how you power off the phone.
Double.
Volume up, volume down,
Right,
press
I
side
did
button.
that part. And then it says slide to power off, but then it says, because I've got VoiceOver on, it says to double tap. But my double tapping isn't getting anything to happen. Am I double tapping with one finger or two fingers?
Yes, always. Well, yeah, you're double tapping with one finger. When it comes to activating a button or something like that, or a link, it's a single finger double tap.
Okay, yeah, so I'm double tapping it and it just keeps saying double tap to power off.
Oh, so let's try this. Let's return to your home screen by starting your finger at the bottom. And on the second icon, first haptic response. Let's
Tap.
go to your home screen.
I never hear the second one. Oh, actually,
Um,
I might have just
so-
parroted it off.
oh, oh, you did this. Okay.
I don't know what happened there.
Okay.
Kenny, how do I get out of the I don't know how I activated Siri by doing a text box. So I can't give a verbal command. I can only text. But when I text something in the box, I can hear it saying the letters, but it doesn't activate.
Well, you probably,
Wallet.
let's go to
Settings.
go
One
to
UI.
settings
Settings.
and
Wi-Fi. Bluetooth. Cellular. Notification. Sound. Focus. Screen. General. Control set. Display. Home screen. Accessible. Wallpaper. Standby. Siri and search. Button.
let's go to Siri and
Ask
search.
Siri. Setting. Listen
We
for
have
off
one more
button.
person after this.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, I'll get right back to you, Bessie. What's I'm
Mhm.
sorry, the other individual. Yes.
Torres, you can unmute with your question.
Yes. Hi, Kenny. It's
Hi.
Ansel.
Hi, Ansel.
Yes. One of the things that I have observed when working with Siri is that the Wi-Fi speed or the stability of your cellular connection will impact it will impact the effectiveness of the voice recognition. Have you observed that yourself?
I guess sometimes because you're right, Siri can sometimes you can ask and it doesn't. Out of all the different voice assistants, Google Assistant, Alexa, and I guess Siri is probably at the bottom of the list. It is getting better, but that may be the case because if you don't have a stable Wi-Fi connection or connection to the web, it probably can affect some functionality of Siri.
Press side button for
Now, I
Siri.
believe Siri has an option where it can do a lot of its computing on your phone, where it would download a lot of files, and that might address that problem. But yeah, that can be affected if you have a bad Wi-Fi connection or mobile data connection. Siri may not work as intended.
Yeah. Oh, and regarding the issue that Betsy was having with the with shutting down, I often I used to have that problem that she was experiencing that at one time, but I have resorted to just telling Siri to shut the system
Okay.
down, and that
Oh yeah.
works.
Yeah, and that works. Yeah, Siri, again, Siri can do a lot of things on our phone. Like I said, turn voiceover on and off, as you mentioned, power your phone on and off. So again, it doesn't hurt to try and give her a command and see what happens. And as you said, you tried it and it powered your phone off. But if you want to use the buttons, generally you want to just hit volume up, volume down, and then press the side button. And that will bring up the menu. And the first thing on the list is power off. And you single finger double tap it, and that will power your phone off.
And finally,
Yeah.
there actually is a command for the 4-finger triple tap, and that's the motion detection. So you can actually detect, you can use the phone to detect people in front of you on
Oh,
certain
really?
phones. Yeah.
Okay.
I use that when I'm online sometimes. But it's not available with all iPhones.
All the models. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Right.
available on the Pro. So if you have I had the 12 Pro, it was available there.
Oh, okay. So the Pro and Pro Maxes is probably
Yeah,
so yeah.
yeah.
I got something to do with the
The
camera.
regular iPhone does not have that, and that's actually one of the reasons why I got the Pro.
Well, yeah, the Pro models like the regular, well, yeah, the LiDAR sensor, which is only on the Pro and the Pro Max, which brings a lot of features, especially to the magnifier, where you can have it I guess follow where your finger is pointing and it will actually read out what you're pointing at. And that's only available on the Pro and Max models. That's not on the flagship models of the iPhone. So 12 Pro, 13 Pro, 14 Pro, and a 15 Pro and Pro Maxes can take advantage of that feature. So
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Great job, sir.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? Bessie, I may have to help you, give you a call and help you with some of this offline through the phone, which I don't mind doing.
Thank you.
Yeah, because well, again, I know it's difficult because I mean you can visually see the screen, but again, you're trying to use voice gestures, which generally is for use for people with uh, low vision, blind, and so forth. So sometimes the commands can get kind of a little jarbled and different things like that, which one to use and how to use them. So I'll be more than happy for you to give me a call. I'll give you a call and I can go over some things that can hopefully. Yes.
Yeah, I knew from previous experience that I had to have Siri on before if I wanted to turn voiceover off.
Yes.
If I was going to play with it. But I don't know what I did to turn on the text to Siri
Yeah,
versus
it's
to Siri.
Allow
And
Siri
that's
when
where I
off.
can't
Dimmed.
figure out.
Switch button language.
yeah, that's I'm sure it's an
United
That's where
States.
option.
I can't figure out how to get out of that.
Yeah, I can help you with that off screen. There's an option under Siri where you can
And
instead
then
of
I can't
talk
get to
to
Siri. I can't get to
yeah,
the settings.
yeah. So I'll help you with that, Bess. I don't mind doing that. We can work through that. That's no problem.
Thank you.
Sure. Any other questions?
Yeah, are there any other questions or any concerns?
I don't mean if I did. I don't know. I mean I did a good job with the training, or everybody went to sleep. But
No, you did an excellent job. They're saying thank you in
okay.
the chat.
Okay. Well, great.
Yeah.
I just appreciate it. And again, anybody have any questions? Again, my email address is actually talktexttrain@gmail.com. If you want to send me any questions, any suggestions or things you may want me to cover on Thursday's virtual talk, text, and train session, which again is covering the iPhone, please do send them to me. I welcome all recommendations and suggestions and criticisms if you have any. So talktexttrain@gmail.com. Again, you can just send them there.
I like your email address, Kenny. This is Jane.
Oh, hi, Jane. Yeah, I was lucky it was available. So yeah,
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I sent the email in the meeting chat if anybody needs it. Talktexttrain@gmail.com.
Okay, thank you. Hey, and this is a heads up for everyone. It looks like we are starting to see YouTube posts at the Marylanders online website under
Yes.
event tab. You'll see a talk, text, and train that if you click on, it will bring up some of the YouTube recordings that have been posted. So we're happy to see that.
okay,
And
that's
I'll
great.
be sending out an email survey with a little bit more information and some questions about if you're ready to start receiving referrals your way. I have been sending a few out to a couple of trainers, and so I hope that everybody's ready to just sort of jump in. And of course, we won't refer anyone to you that for devices that we haven't gone over so far. I know we're jumping ahead a little bit, but we're also anxious to get people connected and help them out. So, all right. Thank you so much. And we'll see
Sure.
everyone Thursday.
Thank you,
See
everyone.
everybody Thursday. See you.
Have a great day.
Thanks.
You too.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.